Yogurt is so simple to make in an Instant Pot. I was really nervous actually to do my first batch of yogurt. I thought it would be very complicated, but it's actually really easy with these steps. Homemade yogurt is a fermented food, which we need as many of those as we can in order to keep our gut feeling healthy and working well. I take a gallon of milk, which will fill the Instant Pot up to the max line, and typically it'll take about 30 minutes for it to reach 180 degrees when I put it on to saute. I have an older model Instant Pot, but modern models have an actual yogurt setting that you can do. But for those of you that have one like me, this is how I do it. I will check the yogurt every 15 minutes or so, or as I'm passing through in the kitchen, and check the temperature just to see how close we're getting. You will start to see a layer form on the top as it's getting closer to time. Then it has to cool to between 115 and 120 degrees. At that point, I will mix about a cup of the previous batch's yogurt with the warm milk. Then I pour that mixture into the pot and put a lid on it. This step is very important so that the yogurt culture can mix in with the warm milk slowly and not get shocked by going into the hot batch of milk all at once. I let mine sit a little bit longer. I will typically put it in the fridge late morning, and I find that this helps with making the lactose break down. It makes it a little bit easier for different stomachs to be able to digest. It also makes it thicker without having to strain out that whey protein. I'm able to keep all of that goodness in it and make it a thick Greek yogurt. Not to mention that every time I have tried to strain my yogurt, it has been a complete mess and disaster. So I think that method of just the longer fermentation is just what I need to do. I like to make up a batch of granola as well for us so that we have an easy breakfast ready whenever we need it. We'll have our granola and yogurt. It's simple, and this is my go-to breakfast most mornings. Before making our own yogurt, this used to be an expensive breakfast for us that was a treat. But now I'm spending about $8 with a gallon of milk to make yogurt, and this saves us over $20 a week. I love the moment of taking the lid off and seeing just how far along it is. By late morning, it should look pretty solid with just a little bit of jiggle. I will then transfer the yogurt from the Instant Pot into a really large glass Pyrex container. This container, as well as my tips and recommendations for products for getting started with yogurt making, are listed down below, as well as some of my favorite recipes shown in this video. Here is a thinner yogurt where I just let it ferment overnight and put it in the fridge right away. I find that those are great for sauces and making like a yogurt drink. Personally, I like the thicker style yogurt, which means that longer fermentation time, and I just use that to make all of the different recipes for myself and my family throughout the week. This thick, plain Greek yogurt we use instead of buying sour cream now. So we place it on top of meals like chili or baked potatoes. It is absolutely delicious and no one would know the difference. It actually has a higher protein level, so it's better for you. A staple in our home is ranch dressing. I have a batch every week going in the fridge, and I use this plain Greek yogurt instead of sour cream. I'll take the yogurt, some mayonnaise, and milk and mix that together to make the cream base for the ranch dressing. The detailed amounts in this recipe are listed below in the description. Once that's all mixed together fairly well, I'll start adding in the spices. One year, my mother made me dried parsley from her garden, and it's been one of my favorite presents that I've gotten. I love how I think of her every time I use it. Although it's ready to use right away once everything is mixed, I find that I like to let it set in the fridge for at least a couple of hours to let it thicken up before we use it. Smoothies are a hit with my little ones. My green smoothie is a favorite and is a way I can get my toddler to eat some spinach. I will mix frozen bananas, my yogurt, a little bit of peanut butter, spinach, and avocado, and all you taste is the banana and peanut butter while getting in those healthy fats and lots of protein. Smoothies are normally something that would be very expensive for us, but because we make yogurt, this is something that we can have on a regular basis now. Homemade yogurt has about 20% more protein than store-bought varieties, as well as less sugar since you're not adding that sugar in. Yogurt is rich in probiotics, which helps with your gut health and your ability to digest your food. What's great about smoothies is that you can add different ingredients to make so many different flavor combinations that you're never bored. These stainless steel cups are amazing if you have children in your home. They're absolutely indestructible. We never have leftovers, but if you do, this is something that can store well in the fridge. If you have any extra left over, making up a smoothie packet ahead of time for those busy mornings is really wonderful. I love that we can use yogurt to make a healthy dessert for our family. I also use this yogurt to make a sweet treat of a healthy frozen yogurt. I used Maine-grown frozen raspberries, a little bit of maple syrup, and vanilla. My little ones were still a little bit hungry, so they had that after they had their green smoothie, so to try to taste test which one that they preferred. You can use the same base to make a frozen yogurt bark. You could make frozen yogurt popsicles as well. To make the bark or popsicles, you can add in some bits of diced fruit as well to give it some extra texture. I'm able to make them so many snacks because I have this huge batch of yogurt always on hand in the fridge. Once they were done with their taste test, I poured the leftovers into a bread pan and put that in the freezer to let it set up for a couple of hours, and then it was ready for frozen yogurt as a little treat for my kids. Fiona thought it was so fun that I was giving them ice cream right after lunch and really loved the raspberry flavor. My favorite fall and winter smoothie is a pumpkin banana smoothie that tastes just like a pumpkin pie. I love that I can use this base of the plain Greek yogurt for so many different recipes to keep our family healthy and save money in the process. Having snacks and meals with something that has such high protein makes us fuller longer. From our farm to your home, we wish you the feeling of excitement as you try making a new recipe.